In the beginning of a relationship, appreciation flows easily. We say thanks for dinner. Thanks for calling me back. But as time passes, those words fade. Gratitude gets replaced by complacent assumptions. The everyday acts that once felt like gifts start to feel like obligations. Dishes washed? Of course. Bills paid? Expected. Boom boom time? Hey, part of the job description. So today, let's ask, why do couples stop saying it? And how do we bring appreciation back? I'm Sam, and this is The Connection Room. Okay, so once relationships begin to settle down, the gestures of care still happen, but you don't feel the same spark. They feel ordinary and habitual. The first time your wife or your girlfriend brings you tea or coffee in the morning, you recognize that they have done something thoughtful. At least you should. But over time, it just becomes something that she does. Psychologists call this phenomenon habituation. The way the brain normalizes repeated experiences until they fade into the background. It's not that the thing lost value. It's that your brain stopped tagging it as special. And so, habituation can be a thief, because the kiss goodnight, the morning coffee, and the way that your partner always remembers to lock the door doesn't stop. But we can stop recognizing the significance of these acts. Not because we're ungrateful wretches, we're all a little bit of that, but it's mainly because our brains stopped noticing. That lack of recognition can make a person end up saying, I feel invisible. Now look, gratitude can be small. A nod, a smile when your partner hands you your plate. But psychologist Robert Emmons has spent years researching what he calls gratitude interventions. What he found was that couples who make a practice of noticing and naming the good things that their partner does report higher satisfaction, deeper closeness, even more resilience during conflict. These are not just being polite, they are engaging in perception training. Every time you say thanks for making dinner tonight, you are rewiring your brain to continue to notice the value that your partner brings to your relationship. This compounds over days, months, and years. The whole emotional climate of your relationship changes. But psychologist John Gottman also found that the strongest predictor of divorce wasn't a lack of love or even constant fighting, it was contempt. Contempt doesn't usually arrive overnight. It grows in the silence where our ingratitude festers and robs our partner of the good deeds. You stew over perceived slights until appreciation collapses onto itself until it curdles into contempt. The kick in the nether region is that sometimes it takes absence to see that again. The dinner they cook always feels ordinary until they stop cooking. The text they always send feels routine until it doesn't arrive. Only then, in the silence of inactivity, do we begin to remember how much was given. In her landmark book, The Second Shift, sociologist Arlie Hochschild studied dual earner households and found something that she coined the second shift. Most people have heard of this, but just in case you haven't, Hochschild found that even in families where both partners worked full-time, women were often the ones carrying the second shift. Not just the dishes and the laundry, those pile up too, but the mental load of keeping track of everything and the emotional labor of making sure that everybody feels okay. This work is often expected and so it becomes invisible. One partner says, I'll help take out the trash, but the other partner is silently holding together the schedule, the meal plan, and the emotional thermostat of the entire household. By 10 p.m., one person is feeling rested, but the other is feeling burnt out and invisible. And when this type of constant grinding work goes unseen, this can act as a kindling for resentment. Relationships don't just run on candlelit dinners and long conversations. They run on how you choose to handle your business in your home. And if you have a partner who's willing to do a majority of the work, a majority of the time, at least say thank you. Going further, roll up your sleeves and help your kids with their homework. Fold and put away your own clothes and put some dishes in the dishwasher. Now listen, there is another story to tell, because even in households where both partners work, Plenty of men still feel like their worth hangs on their paychecks. That if they lose their job, if they don't advance, if the bills pile up, then it is a scorching indictment of their masculinity. Many men accept this unspoken rule that a man should hold it together, stay steady, never break. To be strong not only for himself but for everyone else. Suppressing vulnerability, managing fear, showing calm when you're barely holding it inside yourself. It's invisible because it doesn't spill out, but invisible doesn't mean weightless. When danger looms, you're the shield. You're the one who steps forward, fixes it, absorbs the blow. That responsibility is rarely named, it's just assumed. So if your partner is working on a new decking for the garden, offer up a cup of tea or coffee. If he has been the rock through a stormy time, tell him that you see that. Both partners may be drowning in invisible work, each convinced that the other isn't recognizing the weight of work that they're contributing. They're not realizing that they have the ability to pull each other to shore. The German philosopher George Hegel argued that human beings don't just want comfort and pleasure. What they really crave is recognition, to be seen, affirmed, and valued, not just as somebody, but as the somebody we believe ourselves to be. Recognition is the difference between coexisting and being known, between living under the same roof and feeling part of a home. Without recognition, grand gestures fall flat. The flowers, the holiday, the fancy anniversary dinner all feel hollow if you don't see and value the person on the other end of it. So how do couples reintroduce gratitude when it's been crowded out by routine? Well, first, don't wait for big anniversaries or grand gestures. Gratitude lives in recognizing the small everyday things. If there's a meal on the table, say thank you. If the new shelf is up and stays up, say thank you. Gratitude can have extraordinary effects. It tells your partner, I see the work that you're putting into the life we're building, and not just the highlights. Second, learn to distinguish thanks from transaction. Gratitude isn't a debt. It's not you did the dishes so now you owe me. It's you did the dishes and I noticed because it mattered. The moment thank you turns into a bargaining chip, it stops being recognition and starts becoming accounting. And no one wants to be loved on credit. Learn to distinguish thanks from transactions. Third and finally, find ways to make your gratitude explicit. Some couples keep a gratitude jar, dropping in little notes about the things they notice. Others leave sticky notes for the other to read. These practices turn memories into something concrete that you can lean on when a day's been harder than most. So why do couples stop saying thank you? Because habits dull notice. Because roles hide labor. Because routine buries recognition. Without appreciation, gestures become invisible, and invisible love cannot be sustained. To say thank you is not trivial. It is a daily act of seeing each other, of choosing to recognize that nothing is owed and everything is a gift. Your relationship is built in the small, steady words that tell your partner, I know what you do and it's valuable. What's the one thing your partner has said to you that has made you feel appreciated? Let's get an appreciation-filled comment section going. I'm Sam, and until the next time, make some room.